This video was originally recorded on my camera, but as you'll find out at the very end of the video, it's packed somewhere and I don't know where it or my memory card is. So this video is about my part-time job and it's all recorded on either my iPhone or my iPad. Enjoy. So here I am sitting in the parking lot and just waiting for the person next to me to leave. Yay, they're leaving. I hope this person is going to take their place. All right. For some reason, it's so super busy today. I don't know what that's about. So I'm going to go in the store and give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to open up and get ready for a day at work. God, it got hot there just a few seconds. All right, so welcome to Sojourn's Reinventors. This is where I spend, about maybe 2 or 3 days a week. Ooh. This is my part-time job. I'm a salesperson in Sojourn's, which is a fair trade store. Now, what you're seeing here was filmed several months ago, a couple of months ago. So a few things have changed. Certainly a lot of the inventory has changed in the store. We are still requiring masks, but we're not double masking. And I think right now I'm beyond sweater weather. It's more like umbrella weather at the moment, but I just thought you'd like a glimpse of what I do part-time as a reinvented individual. And you can see it's a big change from being a pastor to a salesperson, although there may be some people who would disagree with that. They might consider pastors a type of salesperson, but I don't. And this has been a really big change for me, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about in this video while showing you what I'm doing and what we sell here in the store. Now, at the end of the video, I will have a little bit of an update because a lot of stuff have changed. And this was, I think I filmed this in April and it's now July. Lots of things have changed. My original plan was to have this video out in June, the 1st of June, and that did not happen. So hopefully I'll get this out to you soon. But I want to talk a little bit about fair trade right now, and then later at the end of the video, you can find out more about what's happening with me. So what is fair trade? Now, when people come into the store and they've never heard of fair trade or not sure what it is, basically I tell them it is the fact that the artisans who created each of these items got a fair wage for what they made. There's no slave labor, there's no sweatshops, there's no child labor, everything is environmentally friendly. We happen to have 60 different countries represented in our store, but I'll talk more about the store in a little bit. But according to the Fair Trade Federation, I guess the little card we give out, it says fair trade is a market-based approach to connecting marginalized artisans and producers to trade in a responsible manner. Many times marginalized artisans do not have the knowledge or tools to participate in trade, and as a result, they are at risk of either being exploited or losing their art. Fair trade supports those producers and respects basic workers' rights. Fair trade principles require fair wages for artisans and creation of sustainable jobs in safe working conditions, promoting eco-friendly products and practices, and eliminating child labor. Now, one of the things that is remarkable about fair trade is many of the artisans are women, not all, but many of them are. They have overcome incredible odds to create beautiful items, and because fair trade makes sure they get a fair wage, they are not exploited. They don't, a lot of times you go to a big store. I won't say what kind it is because there are several available out there. But if you go to a big store and you find something that's made from another country, most likely the people who made it did not get anywhere near what it's worth for that item. In fact, not things in the fair trade store are not necessarily more expensive than what you'd get in another place, a big store that might be down the road from you. But it really is amazing how many people will come in and say, oh, well, that's too much, or that's too expensive, or that's really, that's a lot. And yet they'll go to these big stores that, they will load up their carts and they will end up, dropping several $100s, and it doesn't, they don't think about what they're doing. But who's getting the money when you do something like that? Well, the middle person, the actual big store, the executives in that big store, they're getting the money. But in fair trade, the idea is that the artisan gets a fair wage. When we have an item that comes in the store and we add it to our inventory, we're not allowed to mark it up. I think 50% is the max, or around 50%. So we're not making $1 million on these items, and we're supporting people. Now, during this pandemic, this has been extremely important. A lot of these folks in other countries have been isolated. They've struggled to put food on the table. I mean, we think we have it bad here. People complain about wearing masks, but at least we have access to food, even we may not have exactly the ability to put food on our table, but there are places we can go and things that we can do to make sure our families are fed, and they just don't have that in a lot of these countries. Now, we think of a lot of these countries as third world, but really the better idea is to think of them as more like non-first world. And it is really incredible, a lot of the time and the energy and the creativity that go in many of these items. Like I said, we have 60 different countries represented in our store. So one of the questions you might ask, well, how did I get involved? How did I become a salesperson? Well, I have shopped at Sojourns for years. I don't remember how my husband and I got interested in fair trade. I know there was a time where I was looking at Buy American, because that seemed to be the thing. And when actually you go to the stores and you think, oh, I can find something that's made in America, well, it's not. A lot of it's made in China or some other place, and it was just very difficult. And I started, looking into fair trade and found Sojourns. And so I started shopping there. When I was retiring, I remember we were shopping at Christmas time, and my husband happened to mention to the owner that I was retiring because she was looking for a part-time employee. And that's how we got connected. I've known her for a long time, of course, since I've shopped there for many years, but I've now worked here part-time for 3 years. I really do enjoy it. One of the things I've not enjoyed is telling people to put their masks on. We do still require people to wear masks in the store. We have many vulnerable people. We have a part-time employee who is not able to be vaccinated, so that's just very important. Although people are extremely rude. I mean, if you don't want to wear a mask, don't come to our store. We also have an online store. I have a link to that in the bottom if you want to check out. A lot of these products are online, and many of the products that are online are things that I put online because that was part of what I did during the pandemic, and I still continue to do that now. And so I've just been walking through the store, letting you look to see what a few things are available. If you have questions about any particular things, you can either go to our website or you can put a comment below and say, hey, Amelia, what about this item? Or I saw this or that. And will be sure and answer your question. Now, one of the things that I do every morning when I come in to work is that I turn on music. I usually try to have world music of some kind. Sometimes it is from a particular country or areas of a country. And it really does help. It helps people, I think, shop when there's some kind of music going. It helps me keep active. So that's one of the things you see I'm doing here. I'm also setting up our Shopify account and getting everything turned on for that. We used to be downtown and now we are out in a suburb, and it is so much better because there's actual parking that's right out our doors, and the store is one large store as opposed to a series of little rooms that we had in our previous store. And we've increased our inventory. We actually moved in 2020, believe it or not, and it has been the best thing we could have done. There's a lot of other little stores in this little tiny strip mall that we are in. And so some people have said we have the same vibe as a lot of the other stores. We have a little grocery store next door. There's an antique mall. There's a bookstore, all of those things. Of course, one of the major things that I do every day is help customers who come in the store. Now, I did not record any customers in this video because I just felt like it was just too much. I'd have to get a permission slip and all this stuff. So what you see is basically I came in early and kind of set up so you can see some of the things that I'm doing here. I'm actually wearing a dress and some masks that we have sold in the store. I really like, part of my job is like meeting different people who come in, hearing their different stories, introducing them to fair trade. And it's just wonderful to see somebody come in and oohing and eyeing over the items that they see in the store. That is a lot of fun. And seeing people that I've known that come in the store has been fun too, and just getting to know kind of our regular customers. It really is hard sometimes though for me not to purchase items. Lots of items in the store. I think one time I was kind of looking at some reports and I pulled something up and it showed that I was one of the top customers of the store. And I was like, well, that's nice, but not exactly the best thing ever for my checkbook anyway. Now here is one of the things I'm doing, and we receive inventory in the store from other countries, and what I do is unpack it and put it in, or make sure it's in our system and price it. We have moved from simply doing a SKU to doing a barcode, and so one of the things that I have done lately is basically taking every item in the store and repricing it with the barcode. Now that does make, when we check people out, it makes things a lot faster, but the process to turn over the inventory from the old way to typing in a number to actually having a scanner where you can do it. Now we see this all the time. Like you go to the grocery store now, everything's a barcode. And I remember when they first came out, it was a kind of not a thing, but I mean people just talking about it. How do we know we're paying what it actually says on the price tag when they scan your item? But now you just don't realize how fast it is to do a barcode on an item. Gosh, it takes like no time. And of course, one of the things I do once I've priced it and put it in the system, I'm putting it on the shelf. And now the owner, Melissa, she is really good about visioning how things are going to look and putting them in the store, and just she's really fast at it. And I'm learning a little bit as I go about what sells, what looks good, what gets the customer's attention. And we do have a Facebook page, we do have an Instagram page that we're constantly updating and letting people know new things that are coming in the store, and maybe a highlight of an artisan that we support, or a particular season, what we offer. One of the things that people really like is it's a great place, especially for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts. I use it just for personal things. I brought my toothbrush there. If I'm craving chocolate, I'll buy my chocolate there. So, it's maybe everyday things, or it may be a gift that you are getting or giving for somebody. And that's a great place to go to do that sort of thing. Now, during the pandemic, one of the hard things is finding a chance to eat. You'll see in just a moment, I think I filmed myself eating lunch. because I try to do it when nobody's in the store because I'm not wearing a mask. So sandwiches are usually the answer to that problem. One of the things that I have to say is it doesn't matter how old you are or what your status in life is, usually you end up taking out the garbage. And yes, that is one of the things that I do because we get so much packaging and boxes. And I know we're not recycling. I get it, but we get so much in there that it's really important to make sure it gets in the dumpster as soon as possible. And another thing that I do in the store is cleaning, dusting, wiping down things, and vacuuming. And because we have a cement floor, I do wear tennis shoes or really good shoes while I'm working. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out our Sojourns Fair Trade website down in the descriptions. Now, I do not receive any kind of benefit from you going and buying anything from the store besides just gratitude from my boss. But also, I do have another link there if you're interested in a particular credit card that I know that we have used recently in hopes of eventually being able to do some traveling in the future. If you have not subscribed, I invite you to do so. And for an update for what's going on in our lives, I have asked my cat, Clovis, to clue you in. So an update on where we are. We are actually currently living next door to our future home, which we have been modeling for months. Many of you know that Amelia's husband retired or is retired now. And we've been remodeling this house, but things have really slowed down. Now, they were supposed to speed up at the end, but they haven't. So here we are living among the boxes. We're very thankful for our neighbors who own the other house on the other side of us, and we were able to stay there and have a place to sleep and eat and everything. It is tight and it is frustrating being next door to your house and yet not being able to actually live there. We are checking it out pretty much daily to see updates. It is very slow. I know some other people have been doing some other remodeling during the pandemic. And if you're one of those people, you know things are happening very slowly in terms of construction. So we are trying to be as patient as possible. As a cat, this is not always an easy thing to do. And can I say I've been in trouble a whole lot. The squirt bottle has been coming out after me constantly, but hopefully my mom will have new videos out shortly talking about reinventing and how all this experience has given her some new perspectives on reinventing and the difficulties with reinventing. Hopefully you all are doing well and have been able to continue your own reinventing adventures, and that your pets are also happy and content and not having to live among the boxes. Well, that's about all I have to add to this video. I hope that you are doing well and have a great one. Bye.